What is up, and welcome to the Watch Your Work Show. We're back from hiatus.
Hello.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi, unplanned hiatus. Just it felt right.
It felt right. We needed a break. Yeah, I'm Kevin. I haven't been here for a while. I've been on my own break. Kelsey's here. She's been on wedding breaks, adjusting to life schedule, things like that. We're all just here. We're all adjusting.
All the stuff, and the season ended, and we were like, great, us too. Meanwhile, WNBA players went and played more basketball for Team USA, and we were like, no, it's fine.
Yeah, if you thought the WNBA season was condensed, let's introduce you to FIBA World Championship, where you play what seems like every night, and you fit an entire world championship into like 10 days.
I was like, oh, you know what? This will be the week that I tune in and like really give that some attention. And then I think Monday morning I got the email from her Hoop Stats. It's like, here's the recap of the entire tournament. It's like, well,
the moment you're ready to lock in.
I really took a break. I was like, I can't. How long is this thing? I don't know. I'll check back in. And as soon as I was ready to check in, it was done.
Even if you wanted to, the games were at 3 a.m. No one was able to watch this.
That's so true. That's so true. And based on the recap I read, Team USA just completely dominated. Completely dominated.
Hey, yeah, lots changed in the world. I'm still suspended from Twitter. That stayed the same. Yeah, we're still there. Yeah, let's find out who's joined us here. Heath, Watcher Jan. Yeah, we'll get into that. There's a lot happening. We got Mac, Smokey the Bear again with a get on with it. Terrible accent.
What a great impression.
Real diamond hands. Hello, folks. Man, there's a lot to cover in the world. We'll get into FIBA. We'll get into other things that I want to rant about in the world of sports. But Kelsey, from the moment that you popped on and we started chatting a few minutes before show, we haven't been able to stop talking about what's up with Dapper. And I have a very important question to get us started on that. And I should have it ready, but here we go. Win her bag. We have 3 moments to give away tonight, and courtesy of Mac, of Stubbs, some other friends that we got. So start throwing that in the chat, and we can start talking about what's the plan with Top Shot. Are they on Twitter just all the time? Is this like, are we just like getting a live look at someone's meltdown? Are things happening on the other end of this? Is everyone okay? I don't get any sense.
I have way more questions than answers, and I got to tell you, I don't even want the answers because I think I'm just gonna have more questions. So like, I'll just think about it myself. I'll just ponder over, what I can control. And right now, I think that decision is that I'm just gonna, since sort of my Top Shot approach now is, I'm gonna just, I think, collect W moments. And we seem to have a nice little pause on that. I'm like, great, it's a natural time to just not put my money into this right now and just see what happens with what I have and just sort of let it sit. I feel like people freak out when their accounts lose a bunch of value, which happens. So you just got to be ready to ride the waves and decide how you're going to approach it. And mine is, I think I'm just like not going to look at it for a little bit.
Not only am I not going to look at my account valuation, I don't think I'm going to look at the website.
Yeah,
I think I'm just gonna stop for a while.
because I thought I honestly, like, am confused of where we're even at right now because I do also know we complained about some back-to-back rare drops.
Mhm.
And so now it still feels like it would be too close, but now I'm just like, "Oh, I thought they were, like, one like, I what?" And so then I'm like, "Yeah, I guess, like, we complained." It's just I gotta tell you too, I don't like that we can complain and then it affects things sometimes. I think people might disagree with me on that they're like, "No, it's great they listen to us. I'm so glad we have a voice." I am like, "No, no." I do not I don't know, man. This might be my hot take of, like, I don't think Top Shot should be a democracy, but I don't wanna make any more decisions. Maybe this is just post-wedding fatigue, but, like,
This is not a Top
I don't wanna know I
Shotocracy.
have any influence. I don't want like, I don't want
Oh,
it. I just want other people to do it, and I want them to
okay.
just I don't
What
know.
what good feedback are you getting, from the proverbial Donkey Nuts 99 Twitter account that is going to shape what should be like $1 billion company? When we talk about, like, what's reasonable feedback to, like, get from a user base, I don't know that Twitter is the best place for that. I don't
It's
know
never.
Twitter's a good place for anything. I mean, I'm on there all
I
the time. I
I
love
do
it,
have some
but
concrete advice. I do have some concrete advice. Delete all of the Twitter accounts, all of them. Forget, like, not like, you guys can own moments, but you can't own Twitter handles. You can't have them anymore. Just, like,
we're gonna
like,
reverse
get
it
rid of
all.
them, or, like, make your accounts private and, like, only let the people who agree with you follow you, I guess. Like, create your own bubble and just that's that because, like, just, like, shut it down. The other thing, I just think sometimes you have to tell people to get over it or imply that they need to get over it and don't say anything at all. Just like, "You know what? Whatever." And remember that you are not the company. And so I know that this is like a company built on like power to the people, whatever. And like we want to hear what people have to say. But I think there is something kind of valuable to being like, no, we created a product. And if you would like to buy that product, it is there for you to enjoy. And if you don't want to, don't. Go buy something else. Spend your money wherever you want. It's your money. And here is what we have. And
Yeah,
here is what we're doing. And either jump on board or get off the bus. Like, we don't care. We have a lot of other people that would like to
yeah.
be here. Like,
And
and we can still complain all we want, but like
mhm.
they should just lean into their decisions. Uh, and I think that we would trust them a little more if they were like, nope, this is what we chose. This is it.
Hey, and you can be an into as team reward as you want, versus like a
Yeah.
legendary drop, but where's the info on the team rewards? Like,
Yeah.
October. All right, we're in October. What's happening? Because we don't know what happened with the September rewards.
Yeah.
And apparently that was a tweet that happened today, and it was just like a vague, like, it's not approved, it's coming. Like,
Sometimes
I
I
don't
feel
know
like
what to
we
do.
have too much info. So anytime they do something right, there's just like another nugget we've been given that we're
Oh,
like, "Hey, what about this thing though? Hey, you guys follow up on this thing? What about this thing though?" It's like, just maybe don't tell us. I am like so far on the other end of the spectrum where people are like, "Well, you know, you're not following the roadmap or like the roadmap." I'm like, don't even give me one. I don't even want it."
you can't overpromise and
Just
underdeliver if you never promise
y-
anything. There you
yes.
go. Mhm.
And I think that might be the strategy for now. For now, or like only make the promises you can keep
Only
because
make the
you can
promises
only
like
say
you're ready
sorry
to hit
so
send
many
on.
times.
Yeah.
If the apology does not come with a change in behavior, it's not a real apology. That's that's
These
the
are
tea on
conversations I
that.
have with a 6-year-old, and we're talking about a
That's what it
billion-dollar
feels
company.
like. That's what it feels like. I'm like, if I told my
Oh.
students they were getting a pizza party and then I never ordered the pizza, I'd have some very angry students.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't promise them that. And if I did and I bailed on the pizza, I'd be like, "I'm so sorry, you guys. I bailed on the pizza, and that's the end of it. Maybe if you don't bring it up, we'll get pizza again." I don't know. I think that
I
that metaphor broke
love
down
that.
just there,
If
but
everyone stops talking about the legendary drop, maybe we'll get the legendary drop.
right.
That's the next tweet.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to run a billion-dollar company, million-dollar company, and that's why I'm not in a position of power. And so they also shouldn't be listening. They like everything I'm saying now, they also shouldn't be listening to. I'm not qualified to make these decisions. Winner pizza.
I am already unhinged. Oh my god.
Like, I honestly also though feel like maybe we're all gonna get pizzas delivered to us at some point
Oh,
as an apology because that's what this feels like. You know
oh
what? You
man.
guys earned a pizza party.
Domino's, you can airdrop to me anytime. Let's go. Oh, wow. That was maybe that
They
was the
should have
release that
one
we
of the
needed.
Domino's trackers where it's like how close
Ooh.
the pizza is. It's
You
like
know,
in
if
progress, and it's like we have a progress bar of all the different things we're waiting on. Like
you're
here's where it's at, and you just if you want to follow this tracker, it'll light up. My I truly ordered Domino's 2 nights ago. We were
there's
in
nothing
town for a
wrong with
wedding,
that.
and I was like, "Oh, there's a Domino's, and it can deliver to us." And it was the best. It was the best decision. Best decision I made. But I
Hey, man,
loved the
those Parmesan
tracker.
bites, like, when you need them, you need them.
I
Yeah.
love the tracker. I was ready to go to bed. I was like, I should eat pizza before I go to bed. I did not have enough for dinner." And I could look at that tracker and know when the things I was waiting for would arrive. And it truly was like, pizza's on the way. And then it was
And
like,
it
your delivery
worked.
driver will be there any minute. And then I heard a knock on the door. And I was like, this is it.
Oh, Mac Attack. This is we could spend a show on this.
I couldn't. I
Um,
don't think I've had Pizza Hut in like ever a long
oh,
time. Probably,
oh god.
probably at some point.
I'm sorry, Pizza Hut was life. It's life in the Midwest.
No, we were dominant. Papagino's.
Mm, that is that is not a thing, where I'm at. You get
Papagino's.
some hand tossed, Pizza Hut with I mean, the breadsticks are fine, but what you need is the cinnamon sticks, and that trumps
Okay,
everything.
Cinestick. Domino's also has yeah. Does Pizza Hut have
Oh
Cinesticks or are those the Domino's ones you're
oh,
talking about?
Pizza Hut originated,
Okay.
Cinesticks and continues to lead the field in all of that. Domino's can try, and it's cute, but it's Pizza Hut
I
all the
think
way.
those seem pretty good though. There's a pizza place right on the corner from us that's very good.
Mm.
That is arguably too close to home. It's like literally on our walk home from the subway every
I
day.
would love that tracker. Your
Mhm.
delivery is 12 steps away. Yeah.
They would probably call us and be like, we know you. Please just like the dog probably needs to go out, take him with you. Like, come say hi."
This totally tracks. The best McDonald's I ever had was in Spain, and this is
Wow.
perfect. Yeah. Like those folks know how to do it. Um, so a weird thing about like living near Kansas is that Pizza Hut like originated in like Wichita, Kansas. So any town that has like a stoplight in Kansas has like one or two Pizza Huts like attached to it, and the
It's
same
like Dunkin'
basically went
Donuts in Boston.
exactly, and the same went for like basically southern Nebraska. It sort of like crossed in there. Like every town had a
I read
Pizza
a
Hut.
tweet today that said there are 61 coffee shops per 100,000 residents in Boston. And I was like, somebody needs to tell me how many of these are Dunkin' Donuts. And I feel
hmm
like that is probably similar for Pizza Huts
hmm
in Kansas. That feels somebody run the numbers on those.
And I think Pizza Hut is to pizza what Dunkin' is to coffee, and that you can take that any way that you want to, good or bad, and it's
Now
probably
I'm thinking
correct.
through what the other pizza chains and their coffee chain equivalents are, but
Ooh.
we probably should have a show on the things that we told people we talk about, making promises we can't
I don't
keep.
even want to know what the coffee equivalent of Caesar's pizza is. Like I don't want to put that in my body at all.
Oh.
That's like the worst gas station
Yeah, that's
coffee. I can't
probably
even
probably
think.
gas station coffee, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is also true. Pizza Hut completely weird. Um, let's see. What were we talking about?
Top Shot.
Top
Mike
Shot.
Mike Mike bringing it
Yeah.
back here. Where was it? Yeah.
More excited for Top Shot to be back someday. Yeah. I'm excited to be excited about something. I finished the season 4 base set last week. I thought that would like kind of perk up my mood, get me more interested in sort of being invested in the marketplace, chasing some of those leaderboard sets. And it really hasn't. There's not a lot happening for me there. What's happening, what's unfolding on Twitter, like as we speak, with the general manager of a company and everyone else just doesn't do a whole lot for me either. And
Yeah.
man, I kind of wish that there was
Yeah.
WNBA games back that we
Do you
could
know what's
talk
hard
about.
to the like the Twitter stuff's so hard because it's this and it also I think is the problem that like you're a company. And so just speak as the company and like
Mm-hmm.
have company messaging. And Mike's been saying this forever. Like, but I also think it's very hard where you have access to those people for them to not take stuff personally. And like
Mm-hmm.
people are making it personal too. It's not just, being taken personally. Um, but I also think it's you can't be reactive. Like proactive versus reactive, and this just feels all the time like Top Shot's reactive.
Mm-hmm.
And inclined to react, and now we know that. So people are like, "Oh, I can tweet at this person and they will probably reply and I will like hopefully get some information." I feel like often people are probably just doing that to be like, "Ooh, what are they going to drop?" without realizing they dropped like
Mm-hmm.
through
Oh
these
yeah, it's
tweets and
total bear
stuff. Like
poking.
it's
Yeah.
like yeah, and it's and that I mean that stinks too. Everyone on Twitter, please stop doing that. Like stop tweeting at these people too. But like stop like get off just everyone get off Twitter. Everyone get off Twitter. It's good for you.
I think this calls for a mental health check. And then we're gonna come back and give away a moment. That remains my favorite video on this
Mike's
damn
saying, "Oh
site. I
no."
love it.
Mike usually uses it for himself, I think, whereas we're using it. Just everyone check in with yourselves, see where you're at. Yeah. Yeah, just I don't know. I don't feel like nothing feels consistent. I don't feel like I can take anything that's said seriously one way or the other. Like I
Mhm.
also don't even feel like I'm reacting the same way. Like I'm like, "Oh, this again."
Yep.
Like it's now we know these people, we know these characters, we know how these things play out. And so it's like something's got to give, but
Yeah. I'm treating it I'm treating it a little bit like I treated like living in the Trump administration, wherein like the first 6 months, like anything that happened, it was just, oh my God, this like we have to organize. We have to like get behind this. We have to like push back. It's like awful. This is terrible. Like, what are we gonna do? And then just as he was just like leaving and it was all just like kind of foregone conclusion, this was a disaster. It was just sort of like waking up and like, okay, this terrible thing happened. We expected a terrible thing to happen. So there we are.
yeah.
It's not a great place to be with
Who's
a
the
product.
Trump in this scenario?
The I can't say that I can't
No,
build
but do
that
you
bridge
think
to
at
say
what
that
level?
TS
So
is
this
Trump.
is where I struggle too,
Uh-huh.
because I think a lot of people would say Janie. But like there is
Mm.
also like Roham there's another figurehead above her. So when we
Mhm.
draw this Trump analogy, our brain goes one place. But then I'm like,
Mhm.
there feels like there's also other people, but then people will argue like that's Dapper, that's not this thing, whatever.
Mhm.
But I do wonder how people view that and like who I don't know. It's also hard to know like how much power and control any one person has. It's
Yeah.
hard when it feels like they're creating these individual people to be scapegoats for their problems. Like
Mhm.
I think in a lot of ways they need to restructure so that people like Janie and everyone else don't have to take the fall when stuff goes wrong. Like
Mhm.
why are we making one person be like, yeah, no, this is my fault, and then
Mhm.
like not, and then like nothing changes, nothing happens, nothing. It's like
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm most frustrated with. I'm not going to tie the former president to any single person on
yeah, no,
that
please.
team because
I
they
gotta
are
put you on the spot there, but it was more
not at
to more
all
to say like where do we think?
at that same level, and I actually all like them as humans. Um,
I also think
they
though
are
it's
in such a
we
oh
don't know who would be that
no
leadership. Like
no
we don't, and I think we are kind of confused where we're like, I guess it's this person. It's like, well, I guess no, there's other people there. Like there are other people we could probably point to above that level. And then it's like, well, what are we really working with? And that confusion, I think, is part of the problem.
Yeah, and then it becomes what Mike says on here. Is just it becomes a community responsibility to just deal with all of the nonsense that we're kind of like mucked through. And it's like, is that Web3 is to be the accountability police for people doing like work and we're giving our money to, or is it like part of this like company's responsibility to sort of have and like say we need to fulfill the promises that we're making, we need to have a better plan for folks who are like showing up weekly to either like create content or buy things or engage with this site. And um I'm struggling with it, just to kind of put plainly, in that
Yeah.
I don't want to continue to be mad about it, and I just I want it to be fixed.
But what I think is
Honestly.
interesting too is that we're still like, I mean, I think a lot of people have kind of pulled out of the
Hmm.
platform. But I don't know, maybe this is the point.
Or
Like
you
we're
could just do that.
I didn't know
Yeah.
Mike had a burner account. I totally agree with Chris. There he is.
No.
Um, yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, like it's maybe not affecting their wallets
Hmm.
in a tangible way. And so it's like if you really I don't know if we really have all these complaints, I think when push comes to shove at some point, like should this continue? Like I'm not putting very much money into the platform. Like I haven't purchased anything
Yeah.
in a while. I mean, I think I did line up for the last W drop, but I honestly am like, okay, I'm only going to do W moments because outside of like for me, outside of the platform, I like what it's kind of what it would do for the W. I think that
Yeah.
more things like this for the WNBA is important. I think that being involved in it is just another way to kind of get more people into the fandom of the W. I think it sort of did that for the NBA for a lot of people. And so those pieces of it are what's important to me. And I think those pieces still exist. And I'm not
Hmm.
in it. Like I don't really care about like the trajectory of W moments. I don't really care when the next like knowing when the next drop is I personally don't really care what the roadmap is.
Hmm.
Like if I like the product and I happen to go on the site and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I like that. Maybe I'll buy that." Like that's kind
Hmm.
of how I'm interacting with the platform. And
Yeah.
so like and I know that's I'm a different user than I think
Hmm.
the people on Twitter.
Hmm.
But I also think that like there are more people like me that probably don't care that much. And so me seeing all the noise is like, should I really like is there
Yeah.
another thing I could put my money into that does those same
Hmm.
things for me? Um I don't know, but should it start
I'm
to
in that
exist,
same
I
boat.
might put my money elsewhere. Like and that's where I think it stinks for Dapper because
Hmm.
this is a great product and has so much potential, but
Yep.
I think a lot of people are starting to do that calculation of like where
Yeah.
else could my money go that kind of serves a similar purpose.
Yeah, and I took
Um
this in a terrible spot if we are at a place where we're, like, typing up, equating
what?
locking moments with all of that.
Wow,
Um,
we're really bringing the
oh, yeah,
full circle.
really bringing the noise, and no, I agree 100%. I think I still believe, as a lot of people do, in the long-term sort of view on, like, what this does, especially for, the WNBA players showcasing their talent. Because otherwise, if this product didn't exist, I don't know that TST would be doing, breaking down his 5 favorite WNBA moments of the week, as he did when they came out in base packs. Because that's what he showcased like cool WNBA moments, and he talked about it where primarily he's an NBA account, and as much as like Mike even enjoys the W. I don't know it would be as much of a focal point of sort of like the rest of what he does. And I think it's a great launch pad for conversations, for fandom,
Yeah.
for things about that. Um, we need a break. Like something good has to happen here. We're gonna give away this player's choice Asia moment. Where's my giveaway tool at? There we go. For anyone who's yet typed in win her bag, if you haven't yet, we got 2 more moments to give away. Who's winning this one?
Best
Player's
giveaways in
choice
Top
Asia
Shot, by the way.
Wilson. What's that?
And it's like 8 entries. Best giveaways in Top Shot. Milo.
Milo.
Excellent. Congrats, Milo.
everyone who shows up here on a regular basis has to have walked away with some kind of moment at this
Yeah.
point, and good moments too. We're tipping off with we're ending tonight with the Shakira Austin 4K, which Mac Attack gave out. So, uh, which thanks to Stubbs and Mac Attack again. And I've never given the proper shout out to like Veronica and Rock and a Roll for doing our intro
Yeah,
video
the
and song.
video.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, big shouts and
Good
thanks to
shout out.
them.
Good shout out.
Yeah, we're right, Mount. Tonight could probably be your night, with as many moments as we have to get away. It very likely could be. So let's shift to a new discussion. We could go on for a long time, and I could probably dig myself in a deeper hole with analogies of what we can compare like Top Shot and moments to. But let's talk about the U.S. women's national team,
Yeah.
who had a better time with Australia than the Phoenix Suns did, for sure, and just crushed it at their time at the World Cup. Kelsey, I went through every game that they played. I went through box scores and stuff today. Do you want to know what the lowest number of turnovers the U.S. opponent had in their games at any World Cup game this year, in group stages and in sort of the knockout stage?
The lowest number of turnovers by the
Yeah, an
other
opponent
team.
had. Yep.
I imagine the setup means the number is pretty high and should not be as high as it is. I am not as well versed in soccer, so I don't even know.
Oh, I mean, just like the FIBA tournament. So just like basketball, like what the turnovers were against Team
Oh.
USA. Yeah.
Oh. I thought you were still. Oh, got it. U.S. women. When you said U.S. women's now, you're okay. I thought we were in a soccer discussion.
Oh my gosh.
Because when I hear
I
U.S.
totally
women's,
said U.S. women's national team, and
you
that's
did.
exactly where my brain would have
And
went
I was like,
anyway.
there's a lot of
I'm
soccer
so
news.
sorry.
And I was like, there's like all sorts of stuff happening in the soccer world. So I was like, okay,
Right.
wait. And I was
Right.
like,
We're
they
jumping.
played? And I was
No,
like,
sorry.
okay. And then I was like, I think I'm anyway. Lowest number of oh yeah. So this okay. They were well, and some of them I feel like they didn't even count. There was a weird stat here too, I think, of that like some of them didn't count as turnovers somehow.
Possibly because FIBA tracks things differently.
Yeah, but it's like the true turnover rate probably is
Right.
even higher than what this number is. Lowest number of turnovers, I'm gonna guess 7.
The lowest number was 15.
Oh my god.
Every opponent of the U.S. turned the ball over at least 15 times in a game. It ranged anywhere from like a low of 15 to a high of like 24 or 25. There was one game that the U.S. Team as a whole had 17 steals for a team that had something like 19 or 20 turnovers. This team's defense was otherworldly good. They held, oh my gosh, I have to go back and look. They held Canada in a semifinal game to 15% on 3-pointers, 4 for 26. The entire field goal percentage for Canada that game was 21%. They shot 16 of 73 in that semifinals matchup. This team USA was so incredibly good on the defensive end that it was an unbelievable thing just to watch like replays and highlights of it.
I mean, they didn't lose. And I think they won by at least there was like an insane number of points. Like I think they won each game by double digits. At least. I think in most of the games they went up by double digits before the other team even scored. I feel like I also
their closest
read that.
game was Belgium, and it was like 15 points.
Wow. I thought China was the most competitive.
Oh, let me go back and look. Yeah.
But I don't know if their game was competitive. I think
sure.
Maybe China was. Did they come in second?
They did come in second. Yep. Okay. So what you saw when you watch any kind of replay, because I was not watching these games live at 2 a.m. Um, I didn't see this earlier. Mike also hate that we got a TST shout out. Sorry, Mike. We are just crushing you today.
Uh,
What you saw is that any opponent guard had to deal with some combination of Jewel Lloyd, Alyssa Thomas, kind of in a front
yeah.
court, and then a back court that featured at different times Brianna Stewart, Asia Wilson, Brianna Jones, Shakira Austin. It was the most unreal task for any other team to deal with, and it was especially clear against like sort of more shorthanded teams, like if you watch them against like Puerto Rico or Korea or something like that. It was just a completely unfair advantage. It gave so many shades of like '92, like men's dream team, uh,
They're so good.
kind of shade, um, and uh, it was honestly incredible, and I almost felt sad for
Yeah.
just some of the
Well, and
other
it
teams in there.
it makes me excited for the future of the league too, because
Mhm,
this is, all this talent showcased on a world stage, and you're seeing just how good they are when they're all
mhm,
together. And the more talent that comes into the league, the higher caliber the play. Like when you
mhm.
have these well-rounded teams with like you're gonna start to get, I mean, you're almost sort of starting to see it of like the super team model where you're
Yep.
like they're kind of moving to this big three, but they need, I think most teams you could argue have like a big two, but I do
Mhm.
wonder if soon we start to see that kind of true big three format in the W, as all this talent comes up. And so then you're just, I don't, and then to think that like this is where we're at right now in these world tournaments, like,
Uh-huh.
oh my God.
Yeah, and you
Very
start to
fun,
think
very
like
fun.
we're kind of yeah, we're totally in this passing of the torch stage.
And like Sue Bird and DT, not even
Yeah,
there.
not
Like,
even there, and we have just otherworldly talent, like, I think you really got to appreciate that, like, Asia Wilson is gonna be in that stratosphere. Brianna
yeah,
Stewart's
if you're not
probably
watching
already
her
there.
play yet, start
Yeah.
now so that you have
Mhm.
the stories of like, I
Exactly.
remember the start of her superstardom.
Yep,
I
and
mean, they have
my
to make her the face of the league soon, right? Like that's gotta be the next. She's
she
so
has to
fun.
be. Did you see her, like, follow,
She's
like,
so
her press
fun.
conference, like, afterwards? She won MVP, like, she gets, like,
Amazing.
she wins, like, the MVP watch, and, like,
Yeah,
they
her
tell her,
mic'd
like
up. There's nothing better.
right, you see her, like, she has to, like, have the TSOT watch, like, out and, like, in front of her face the entire time and just makes such a point of it, and h
Well, and
how
all
would she
the
not have every endorsement that's
truly,
out
and all
there?
of the clips of her being drunk at the end of the Aces championship win and still being the most likable.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't think I know very many people who are that likable when they're that drunk, and then she
No.
just was
No.
like she was fun, and I'm like, if that's her in a state where she could be a potential liability and this is the content we're getting out of it,
Mhm.
I feel like it's a lock. You
She's
gotta
a
get her on more
factory of
stuff.
wholesomeness is, like, what
Oh,
we're
she's
getting.
fun.
She
That whole
deserves it
team's
all.
fun. That was just, like, such a
Right.
cool that was
Such a cool
cool.
experience. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to watch that group together. My other hot take in this, again, watching replays, not full games, watching highlights. Um, I think if not next year, in like 2 or 3 years, um, Shakira Austin is gonna be like a top 10 player in the league.
Yeah, she's fun. She fit right in to come in and play that well in your
Mhm.
rookie season. I mean,
Yeah.
all of those rookies really were incredible this year. But yeah, she feels like she plays like she's been in the league for much longer than that, and so
Yeah.
it's cool that this is only year one.
She her ability to just like know where to be at
Hmm.
on the offensive court and just to find space, either in transition or in like a half court, just to like be in the right spot for a pass is incredible for just someone who's so new to the league and just young and sort of playing with that level of talent. God, she's a good one. I I'm hyped.
Yeah, if you're
Did
not
you have any
already locked in
takeaways?
on the W,
Yeah, I
get
know.
in. I mean, we got some time. You can do some homework, figure out who you're rooting for,
Right,
pick
right.
your team or pick your
Mhm.
player, however you want to do it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And my only other takeaway is that Japan, you got what you deserved for not having Rui Machida on your team. You go over in the tournament, you get knocked out. You could have had a bad one, but y'all decided not to. So you got what you got, Japan.
They ruined their chances.
Yes.
I spent most
Bless
of the
you.
ends of your sentences there thinking about how to pronounce ruined with Rui. I was like,
Yeah, and you did it. You got there. That's
Yep.
incredible. Well done.
This
Well done.
is what I bring to the table.
Usually that's like if we can both bring that magic, that's perfect.
Dad energy.
Exactly. Big dad energy all the time. What did you have any other takeaways for World Cup time?
No, because I didn't watch any of it. I just kept up via Twitter and read the recaps. And it went exactly as I would have hoped and imagined for Team USA. So excited to excited for next season.
Yeah.
I feel like we have too long to wait, but NBA will be back soon, so that'll hold us over. MNBA, I guess we should probably start.
Yeah, we should clarify MNBA. Speaking of MNBA, I think we could do another drop and then we can transition to a giveaway and another topic.
There we go.
Let's do it.
Detroit basketball. Detroit basketball. You better watch. Detroit basketball. Take it, sit down and write it. Detroit basketball. What does it take to be Detroit basketball? To be number one.
We're just letting it run.
I have never seen that one before.
Oh man, my favorite part is that we have that Nelly somehow comes into a Detroit Pistons scene. Famous Detroit resident Nelly pop up in there. Let's give away another moment. We have. There we go. An Asia Wilson fandom moment to give away. Again, courtesy of our friend Stubbs. You need to throw in the chats. Where do we have the comment at? Win her bag. Throw in win her bag. Like the stream. Subscribe to Team Hold. If you haven't thrown it in there yet, sorry, but you get a chance for Shakira Austin later on. First winner was Milo. Who we got this time? Oh, hey, you called it as your shot right now. You called your shot and it worked out for you. Way to go. Oh, there we go. And again, if you're a winner on here, reach out via Discord or Twitter DMs to let us know what your TS name is so we can get that moment to you ASAP. Kelsey, since we're kind of post World Cup or post WNBA season, NBA season hasn't started yet. Like we're still sort of like in this like in between spot for a lot of sports. I'm not really huge in the NFL. I will follow a little bit Nebraska football, who somehow managed to get a W over the weekend. It's not my life. I'm starting to follow a little bit more with Kiddo, who's a huge soccer fan. So we're doing a little bit more soccer watching in our time. One thing that she just really enjoys is watching women's soccer. So we have the Paramount Plus subscription, so we can watch NWSL games whenever and wherever. And the NWSL over the last couple of years they've really gone through it with their player protections, with their player safety and everything like that. And a lot of that really came to a head this week. And I don't want to dig a ton into it, but just like a heads up for folks, we're going to be touching on kind of themes of like abuse in terms of verbal and mental abuse, as well as sexual misconduct. And so if you don't like those topics, you can go ahead and dip or skip out of this part of the conversation. And that's totally understandable. But there's something that I just wanted to bring up, and we need to talk about it because it is sadly ever present in everything related to sports, to women's sports. This is a thing that U.S. gymnastics recently had to go through. This is a thing that a lot of other sports programs have had to go through. And basically where we're at is that last year, the NWSL kind of went through this reckoning of just player abuse that has been happening for years, and that coaches who engaged in abusive behaviors, either verbally with players or either had sexual misconduct allegations brought against them, either from one or multiple players, would kind of get an under the rug investigation happen. Nothing would come of it. The person would be fired and they'd get to move on to kind of a new coaching role. And within the last year, this really came to a head. And players essentially stopped playing for a weekend. The players brought out these allegations. They kind of coalesced finally into sort of a players association, and started to write collective bargaining agreements, and really force the league into set some higher standards for player safety and things like that. And a lot of that came to a head kind of this week when what's called the Yates report, because Sally Yates, the former deputy attorney general, was sort of the lead investigator in these misconduct allegations that have been happening over the last decade, and came out with just terrible, terrible stories of what players have had to endure at the hands of coaches, at the hands of management. And we're finally kind of at a place where this is all out in the open. And if you hadn't had the chance to watch it yet, ESPN 60 had a documentary tonight that aired on ESPN and is available right now on ESPN Plus, that you can watch, that sort of details some of these allegations and what kind of the league went through to bring about. And still how the league, especially the league, former league commissioners, just don't get it, don't know how to say, this is how I'm going to take accountability for this, or this is how the league should take accountability for this. And it's messy. It's just some things I wanted to highlight in this, and just one terrible example of just what we're talking about here is just a highlighted part right here. This report that we're talking about, it includes previously undisclosed revelation, the manager of Racing Louisville's firing. The report details how this coach called a player in for a film session saying he would touch her for every pass she made a mistake on, and then proceeded to put his hands all over her body in just terrible, inappropriate, awful ways. And this is just one kind of indication of that. And holy shit, it's a lot to detail. And I think it's really indicative in one thing I wanted to talk about here, of just how important it is for humans, for professional athletes, to have some kind of ability in their workplace to have a system that weeds these kind of abusers and toxic humans out of a workplace situation and gets them out of the actual gets them actually fired and have consequences happen for their actions, and has a system for players to actually be believed when these stories happened. Kind of the bulk of these stories came out only after a handful of players and legal representatives banged on every door just to get to be heard, because a lot of this really was brushed under the rug. So I wanted to bring that up and just kind of say, when we talk about sort of the empowerment of women professional athletes, from soccer, from basketball, from anywhere, this is why it's important. This is why we have to, really not just like support in terms of like, watching the sport, showing up every weekend, but to like hold folks accountable for like providing an environment where folks can work. Cause I think we all have our own sports experiences. We all have folks that we care about who are like either like in sports. I even think of like my own kiddo, and like her goal in life right now is to be a professional soccer player. And like I as a parent, I would think about like what kind of competitive environments
Right.
would she be entering to, and what kind of power, what kind of accountability would coaches and team managers and things like that have in these situations. And yeah, it's an important thing to know about, to care about, and to dig into.
Right.
I've
And
talked
if
a lot about it. I've talked a lot about this. So what do you want to say,
no,
Kelsey?
you're good. I was just going to say it's what stands out to me is that if players at that level don't have the outlet, what does that mean for players that are not at that level? Because it is not in my mind, it's hard to believe it's just isolated to that one thing, and that
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately sexual abuse is not just limited to the one news story you read about it in.
Yeah.
And so if, it took that much and that long and that kind of manpower for this story to come out, what are the stories that exist that people don't feel supported and safe and able to share? And so
Mm-hmm.
I think it does kind of come back that like it's the accountability piece, and it's that accountability happening in at even smaller levels to have a bigger impact, because um I don't know. I just think it goes back to there are a lot of ways um, to support women. And I think one of the biggest ones is to create spaces where they feel safe. And clearly that
Mm-hmm.
did not happen in this organization. And you kind of get the impression they love the sport enough to keep showing up, but at what cost? So
Yeah.
um, I think, the takeaway for kind of for everyone else is create safe spaces and
Mm-hmm.
carry yourself as someone who would help make a difference, and
Yeah.
prevent, right? To be proactive in preventing these things from happening to other
Mm-hmm.
people, and creating organizations and structures and systems that that are safe and are good, and that don't tolerate that type of
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah.
And when you
Exactly.
hear someone say something like that, believe them,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
do what you can to help. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, both of these, like, I think that like they do treat these things like a business, and it's hard to I think we as the consumer need to make it more profitable to be transparent and honest. And I think that is starting to happen. I think that these organizations are seeing that that their viewers are holding them accountable in a way that they
Mm-hmm.
maybe haven't in the past, and that
Mm-hmm.
men are being held accountable in a way where maybe they haven't in the past, and that abusers are being held accountable in a way
Mm-hmm.
that maybe they haven't in the past. Um, and so, it's on us in that way to keep that pressure on, and to sort of say
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to participate in this thing if you're not holding yourself to a standard that
Yeah.
makes me, want to watch this, or be any part of it, because
Mm-hmm.
even you as a viewer have some say in that,
Yeah,
kind
for
of where,
sure.
you know
And
um,
that's
the power of
what you talk about with, what the walking the tightrope, and the behavior in this report is similar to the behavior in the Sarver report, and it's similar to the behavior that's in a number of other reports. And the change, if you look at the Robert Sarver, the change really happened when uh, companies, media companies,
Mhm.
sponsorship companies,
It's money.
other folks started to figure out, oh, this is going to be terrible, and people are really upset about this and really want some accountability. The organization doesn't look like they want to do accountability, so PayPal, whoever else, started to look at and say, we're not going to be part of this anymore.
Right.
And that sort of
Right. And I
pushed
think
out
companies
larger
like
pressure.
PayPal can say, "We're not gonna be
Yeah.
a part of this anymore," because they
Hmm.
know that the people supporting their company,
Yep.
it's a reflection on them. And so it is. It's all you have to yeah, it's like, where's the money?
Yep.
Like
And you
making
see
decisions in that
a
way.
lot of that happens too with, I think similar things will continue to happen if a lot of changes aren't implemented for the Tua situation. I think there's a cynical
Yeah.
view of people can say, well, this is football and it's always happened this way. Well, a lot of things have happened this way until they haven't happened
No, and
that way.
that right there,
Hmm.
the status quo isn't always the best way to go about things. And the reason
Exactly.
those protocols exist is for these situations. And so if you're
Hmm.
gonna pretend to, dot the I's and cross the T's, like don't put the stuff in place if you're not gonna follow through on it.
Yep.
And if people's argument is, well, this is how it's always been, it's like, well, right, that's the problem. And it's
Hmm.
people are getting hurt. And is like, what is the value? Like like that's this man's life. Like
Yep.
the and that and these women, like
Hmm.
for a lot of them, like that sexual abuse, that trauma that they're experiencing, that could very well be their life, and that affects
Hmm.
their livelihood, and that affects how they navigate their day to day, and that
Yep.
affects their stresses, and that takes, that can take like the resilience of them to continue to play and to love the sport is sort of like incredible, like
Hmm.
to go through that and to still show up and play.
Yeah.
But at what cost? And
Hmm.
so the systems need to support the players. It's not. I don't think it's the other way around. So
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And all power to the players on this. And I hope that whatever steps forward for the NWSL, for the WNBA, for even players in the NFL, like I hope it's player centric on this point because
right, like that's why you have players associations, and that's why
hmm
you have
yep.
these things. But it requires
Hmm.
leadership following through.
And if you didn't know, the NWSL playoffs are happening, gosh, like starting like the 16th. Yeah, October 16th. Check it out. It is from someone who only really started watching soccer during the pandemic because that was on for sports.
Well, and your
It's
kiddo's going to be in the league, so
Yeah, she's going to be in
you
the
got
league
to
soon,
tune
so I
in.
have to like know what's going on, right? I'm calling my shot on this in that I think the title's eventually going to go to OL Reign, and we see Megan Rapinoe, Tobin Heath sort of launch the championship again. But I think Chicago is a pretty sneaky team in all of this. They had to win to actually make it into the postseason. So they're on a pretty good streak. So check it out. Playoff soccer, if you follow the MLS at all, is just completely bonkers. And the NWSL is the same thing because it is very much decided by one game, and soccer is wild and gets decided on all these weird bounces and play calls all the time. So it's great stuff. So check it out. What else do we want to cover tonight, Kelsey?
What else is there? I feel
What
like
else is there?
we're gonna have to get creative with our shows without WNBA.
Hey, we got women's college basketball coming up. We get to watch Aaliyah Boston on a basketball floor again
Yeah, that's
soon.
so true. Actually, that's so
That's
right.
going to be great.
That's so right.
I'm super excited to watch Stanford again, kind of after their Final Four run. I think they'll have a fun team that's coming
Oh
back.
yeah, college ball is
Hmm.
going to be a good time. That's
Yeah,
right. It's going to be.
absolutely.
That's going to be great.
And I think we have one more moment to give away. Let's make it happen. If you haven't yet, make sure to throw winner bag in the chat. Naked XYZ. Good to see you and all your thumbs all out in the world, ready to go.
You and all your thumbs.
You and all your thumbs. This one's for the Shakira Austin 4K. Now,
This
come on.
they might actually win now that you shared the comment. Anyway,
Oh my gosh, we're digging into the comment luck, and we'll see if it happens.
that's my favorite conspiracy theory.
There you go. All right. So do we just start sharing a lot of like random comments on here? Naked XYZ. Let's see. Anyone else that we haven't shared? Keith, let's go. Garen. And then if we go back to Naked XYZ, do you think that they're going to win it? Let's see. Let's see. This is for the Shakira Austin. Let's go.
If they win it, will you believe me that it's rigged?
I will absolutely believe you, and we will share no more comments on the show.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Keith Johnson.
I will
Heath.
say Heath's was the one we showed before we just showed all of those ones. So Heath was the last shown comment prior to the bucket of comments.
Oh, well, Heath, give me your Top Shot name. I guess we inadvertently
Congrats, Heath.
gifted you the conspiracy lives, and congrats, Heath. Kelsey, he's rigged, but he's not taking it back, not at all.
Here's the thing: if it's rigged because people put comments up that then we decide to share, it really puts the onus on our viewers to share good comments so that we share their good comments. So
Right.
so it really it's nice to reward people for the good that they're doing.
Oh, Kelsey, it's good to see you.
You too.
Yeah,
Glad to be
thanks.
back.
It's great to be back. If we're doing this on a weekly basis, I'm gonna have to do a lot more show prep over the course of the
Yeah,
week.
my work schedule is real weird, everyone. So I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't know. Changes week to week. It depends on what there is for tests and quizzes on the school day. So we'll go with it. But it was great to be back.
We
Great
appreciate
to
you, Mike.
virtually see everyone. Yeah.
We appreciate anyone
Thanks,
who
Mike
gives
C.
us nice words. Yeah.
Yep.
Mike C, Mike Z, wherever you're at. Appreciate you. Yeah, let's see if we get to there were more comments. Let's see, like maybe we can pull some of these comments together and just build a roadmap for Dapper on our own. That would be great. Yeah.
I think we should just the roadmap can just like leave. I don't know. It can just be. We'll think of something.
The roadmap is going to be just as long.
The roadmap is actually a treasure hunt, you guys, and you've been reading it all wrong. So
the
go
roadmap
back,
was the friends
look
we
for the
made along
Easter
the way.
eggs. This is like a Taylor Swift Easter egg situation where it's not the thing; it's everything, everything else within it.
Okay, are we ready to talk about this?
I think the chat should decide.
Okay,
The chat needs to decide who Neil's rooting for next season.
all right. I think if I can disclose it all, Neil has already like ruled out Chicago as a team that he can root for, though he likes Sloot. So Mac Attack, if you're in here, give him the reason why you should root for the Fever. I'm gonna say there is all kinds of room, always room on the Mystics bandwagon.
I think
we got Elena
you need
Deldon
to
coming
root
back
for the Liberty now. So when they
before
sign
Stewie shows
Stewie, you aren't on the bandwagon.
Right. Mhm.
Stewie and Sabrina playing together in this last tournament. They're probably like, oh yeah, this feels right. This feels good.
Mhm.
They have the best mascot in all of sports.
That's fair.
Ellie the elephant deserves
Mhm.
her own show. But no wrong answers. You could start rooting for the Fever now. And so then as they improve, you're like, I was there early. You could start rooting for the Dream. I feel like they're
Mhm.
going to get real good real soon, and they got a lot of
Mhm.
fun talent.
Mhm. You could also, Neil, wait for whatever expansion franchise shows up. If we get 2 of those in the next year, like if you're
Ooh.
feeling like Bay Area, if you're feeling like Philadelphia or Toronto, okay, Neil, how dare you? I'm the Midwest.
I think he asked this question just to post this comment.
Oh,
Now I'm starting
cool.
to feel like
Okay. Wow, you are just writing off huge swaths.
Neil, why don't you tell us who you want to root for?
Right. I think if you
narrow
like
it
talk to
down.
people in Atlanta, I don't know if they definitely like equate themselves to the South. So like Atlanta's kind of its own world. Just like if you ask someone from St. Louis where they're from, they'll say St. Louis and they're never going to say Missouri. That's how a lot of those towns roll.
Yeah. Maybe Mercury. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, this should
Mercury
be
get a new
interesting.
Warner and start spending some money. That would be nice.
But yeah, see, options. Also, bring Brittany Griner home.
We're on
like
day 229 of
it
her
has
wrongful
been-
detainment.
Yep.
She has the news came out.
Toronto drinks.
News came out recently that she has
I forget now what it was.
hearing.
Did I tweet this out? I tweeted it out at some point.
Mhm.
My ideas for expansion teams names. I forget the Degrassi mascot is what I think they should take for a Toronto team's mascot owned by Drake. I stand by that. I think
Yeah.
that's the best.
Mhm.
I think that's how you get new people interested in the W. You tap into the Degrassi fandom
Mhm.
and you pull them in to WNBA.
No, this is no, it's the Burlington Subarus. That's the team name. Absolutely.
That's good.
That's great. All right. Well, I think we listed every team and then invented a few others. So
Yeah, we
Neil, you have
did.
choices? Yeah.
This was one. I love this idea. I think we named them Tempo
Yep.
for the music vibes of
Mhm.
Nashville, the Nashville Tempo. I think Boston we wanted owned by Ben Affleck and J-Lo.
Mhm.
I forget what they were. They were the Hustlers, the Boston Hustlers.
Boston
the J-Lo
Hustlers.
film
Okay.
Hustlers. It's perfect.
Not the Boston Geelies.
And they'd call them the
what was this?
Hustlers, and it'd be good. I gotta work on some more
People still
expansion
want the
teams.
comments back.
Honestly, bring back any of the old
Mhm.
any of the old ones.
Yes, the Geelies. That's what it was. Yeah. Mhm. Oh, perfect.
So many
That would be a great
options. I
team.
think that's how we get famous people to buy teams, is we tell them they can name it after
Their
movie they've
movie
been in.
franchises.
Yeah.
I look forward to like the Bay Area Avengers. What would be other great ones?
The Avengers, the
Top Guns.
Yep.
Roadhouses. That would be great.
The Airbuds.
Oh my God, the Airbuds. Wouldn't that be awesome? Sponsored by Beats. Like that would be great. I love it.
There's gotta be more. This
is our roadmap. This is coming up with movie franchises that are like going to be team names eventually. Oh my gosh. Now we can't leave without a really good one.
We want it to be movie franchise. Avatars is pretty good.
Yes.
Blue uniforms.
Oh my gosh. How amazing would that be? The Denver Dumb and Dumberers. Man, the North Dakota Fargos.
Fargos.
Just like a wood chipper, like right on the top left corner of the jersey.
It feels like the Stranger Things, the Indiana Fever Stranger Things jersey has nods to it. We're already kind of set up.
Yeah.
Set up already.
Airbenders. Oh man, I think we drove this bus as far as it could go.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Lots of options for expansion teams and names, you guys. Miami Mean Girls is pretty good.
This scratches the itch of like we could have a great episode of just doing mailbag questions. We need to
that's probably what we should do.
Absolutely.
That's probably it. Yep.
Oh, Gremlins. That's a great one.
So this is a real person. That's not a Jacksonville Jedi.
Excellent.
I'm thinking of the merch that goes with it, and that's a fun thought exercise. Yeah, that's what we should do. We should have a Twitter giveaway where it's you have to come up with an expansion team, city name, owner, but you also have to design. You have to design the merch. It doesn't have to be a good design or a good image, but you like put the whole thing. You got to pitch the team.
Then you got to get the studio to agree to the rights.
Then the winner gets to buy that experience.
The winner gets a cease and desist letter from
Top Shot
Disney.
W collectors, our new reps. Congrats to them. We're gonna try to convince them to let us buy a team.
We're gonna give you the work.
Fraction of a team.
Oh, that's amazing. Well,
that's where that money should go.
Friends, this was a good show. This was fun. Thanks for showing up.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah. We'll get those moments to folks. Heath, give me your Top Shot name somewhere in the Discord if you haven't done it already. Otherwise, we'll see you soon.
Yeah, that's
We don't
that.
know when, but soon. See ya.